decisions. You're not going to get it through the mainstream media, ABC, NBC, CBS, and CNN. Yep, I'm calling them out.
That's right.
Because if you're watching that, and that's the only information you get, you're going to get misinformation. Some of it's going to be outright lies. You got to do some of your own research to figure out what's true. So we wanted to share the facts with people. And the reason that we want to share the facts with you is quite simply, if we do not fix America's biggest problems, you won't be able to pursue your American dream. Whatever it is. Even if you figure out what it is. With all due respect, that's not the biggest problem we have. Hold on. I'm going to share with you what the biggest problem we are. See, this is how people get distracted. The biggest problems we have that we need to fix start with the economy. It is not growing. That is a fact. Our economy is growing at a less than 2% growth rate per year, which is anemic. And even though you may have heard that 4 million new jobs have been created, what you didn't hear is that in the private sector, 4.5 million jobs went away because the economy is not growing. And if we're growing at an anemic less than 2%, China is growing at 7 or 8 in a down year. So what do we need to do to get this economy going? There are several things, but let me tell you what the biggest thing that we need to do. Replace the tax code. That needs to be when I suggested this to Governor Romney, he said, what do we replace it with? 999? I said, Governor, I'm not expecting you to take that big a leap. I said, but if you were to let the words 999 drip from your lips, I'll do backflips in Times Square at High School. I can't even do backflips. We need to stop talking about reforming the tax code. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked every time. Even when Reagan reformed it in 1986, it blew up again over time because of politics. Replace the sucker such that people are more in charge of their decisions about how they spend that money. Now, I did tell the governor, I said, now, Governor, here's how you can position this. There are 3 well-analyzed, well-developed solutions to that problem. You got the flat tax on income. It's been well studied and analyzed. You got the fair tax, which is a natural sales tax. That's another good approach. And you got the new kid on the block, 999. I could support either one. But if we don't start talking about replace the tax code, they're going to continue to argue over who gets which exemptions, which ones you're going to roll in, which ones you're going to roll out. All of the lobbying firms are going to be there trying to represent their favorite industry to win exemptions and deductions for their folk. So the narrative needs to be replaced. As part of our Truth Tour, we have a business luncheon event each day. This is our 21st event in 3 weeks. So we have a luncheon today. We had a couple hundred business owners there. And I asked the question. I said, of all of you business owners here, how many of you all have job openings, but you're not going to fill them because of uncertainty about taxes and uncertainty about regulations? They all raised their hands. Uncertainty is killing this country and this economy. And right now, we don't even know what the tax rates are going to be January 1st. Anybody in here in business, we don't know what they're going to be because of uncertainty. So the first thing we got to do is supercharge this economy. Secondly, we've got to move toward energy independence. Here's a fact that you can share with your friends. Here is a fact that the students can tweet to your tweet followers. We have all of the natural resources right here in the United States of America to become totally independent. We just need to have the good sense and the leadership to make it happen. Now, somebody said to me when I was one of these earlier, you sound like you're still running for president. No, I'm not. That's the best part. Just because I'm no longer pursuing the position of president, I'm still on a mission to help save economic freedom and the American dream. That didn't go away. And the other thing about our dependence on foreign oil, it is also a national security threat. You're not going to hear this from the mainstream media, so you're going to hear it here on the truth to them. Here's how. You know all of that mess going on in the Middle East? Burning our flags, murdering our ambassadors, killing Americans, burning down our embassies. It is a direct result of a policy of appeasement, confusion, and weakness. Support an extension of a Reagan philosophy, peace through strength and clarity. Let me tell you two things that our enemies respect about the United States. M and M, not the candy. They respect our money and our military might. That's what they respect. That's what they respect. Now here's why it's a national security threat. No one has told the public yet that those countries that are burning our embassies could put pressure on OPEC to stop selling us oil. They haven't told you that yet. If they do, $4 a gallon is going to go to $8 a gallon. They haven't told you that, but that's what would happen. In other words, the United States could be held or hostage. That's why we need to take advantage of the resources we have right here. We are the Saudi Arabia of coal, and we can do it cleanly. Natural gas, shale oil, regular oil, and even nuclear. That is a way to do nuclear right. Ask the French. So when you run into some of these greenies, remind them that 80% of France's energy, everyday energy, comes from nuclear because they did it differently and they did it the right way. Sometimes you mention nuclear, people go, oh, nuclear, 3 Mile Island. That was decades ago. Don't you think we learned something from that? Follow the French model. They do more than just make good wine. We have a national security threat because of our dependence on foreign oil. That is a fact. So number one, we got to supercharge this economy. Number two, we got to move toward. We got to develop a strategy for energy independence, announce it to the world, and watch the price of oil go down. All we got to do is put together a credible strategy and watch the price of oil go down. Instead sending $2 billion to Brazil for them to get oil offshore of Brazil. Why don't we keep that money here and drill for the oil that we got here right here in the United States of America? So number one, the economy. Number two, energy. Those are barriers to your dreams. Number three, spending, debt. Debt. $16 trillion plus national debt. Here's a fact. The interest on the debt alone is nearly $500 billion a year. After the next sequestration cut in defense spending, we will be spending approximately $500 billion on defense. That is stupid. We're spending as much on interest on the debt as we are spending to protect this country, and the world is not safer. That's messed up, y'all. And the only thing, the best thing we have got to stop the debt from going up and get serious about bringing it down. Because it is not only killing the value of the dollar, it is leaving a burden on our children and our grandchildren that they are going to have to deal with. And I don't want to do that. Now, let me give you another fact that you may not have heard in the mainstream media. I had a reporter ask me earlier today, Mr. Cain, you seem to have a chip on your shoulder about the mainstream media. No, I don't. They ought to stop lying and do their job. Some of them have no professional ethics. Some of them do. Show some professional ethics and do your job. And report the facts and report all of the facts. That's what they're supposed to be doing. So you've got the economy, you got energy, and you got the debt. Now let me give you a fact that you may not have heard. You probably won't hear. Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, he and I met a few weeks ago when we were in Tampa during the Republican convention. And he had done an analysis that showed that the unfunded liabilities, meaning if you take Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and all of the other social programs, and you don't change the structure, the unfunded liabilities over the next 10 years and beyond will be $85 trillion. For those who missed this in your math class, a trillion is a million million. A million million is a trillion. $85 trillion. If we don't change these structures. He also showed me the analysis that said that if you take the net assets of every company or business in America, plus the net assets of every household in America, and add it all together, it comes up to $82 trillion. In other words, we could sell the entire United States of America to China and we would still be $3 trillion in the hole. That's how bad it is. It's worse than most people realize. So we've got to get serious about reducing the debt and not reforming those programs. We've got to restructure those programs. That's the only way we're going to get our hands around it.